The Garman Ryan Collection was formed by Kathleen Garman and Sally Ryan and gifted to the Borough of Walsall in 1973. The collection features many works by Kathleen's partner, the sculptor Jacob Epstein, as well as many well-known European artists, Van Gogh, Rembrandt, Picasso and Monet. The collection's galleries at the New Art Gallery Walsall were purpose-built to house these works, with each room divided into a different theme, allowing links to be made between works produced across different centuries and cultures. Sally Ryan was an American artist who most often worked as a sculptor, producing works in stone and bronze. She also painted landscapes and still lifes in oils, such as small flower painting nasturtiums, as well as several others which are held in the Garman Ryan Collection. Sally Ryan was the granddaughter of the wealthy American financier Thomas Fortune Ryan, and a good friend of Jacob Epstein and his partner Kathleen Garman. Louis-Antoine Léon Riesener was born into an artistic family. His father, Henri François, was a high society portrait painter, and his grandfather, Jean-Henri, a highly acclaimed cabinet maker. Riesener's cousin was the French romantic painter Eugène Delacroix, who supported and influenced Riesener throughout his career. They often sketched nature studies together on trips to the country. It was said that Riesener wanted to express flowers as they are in nature. Shinwasure, a European interpretation of traditional Chinese decorative arts, was very popular in Britain and Europe throughout the 17th and 18th centuries. Riesener's cabinet maker grandfather, who was a favourite of Marie Antoinette, often used Shinwasure-style motifs in his work. By the 1830s, when this watercolour was painted, highly stylised Chinese-inspired decor was starting to become less popular, with Riesener favouring a more delicate, naturalistic style of working. Peter Dewindt was a landscape and architectural painter, considered to be one of the leading English watercolourists of the early 19th century. He worked on painting the British countryside rather than foreign landscapes, regularly making sketching trips to many places across England and Wales, and only travelled abroad once, to Normandy in northern France in 1828. Dewindt had a reputation for working directly from nature, as shown in this study, Turnips. In 1840, art critic John Ruskin stated that Dewindt hardly ever paints except from nature, attends constantly and effectually to colour and tone, and produces sketches of such miraculous truth of atmosphere, colour and light. After his death, Dewindt's widow reiterated this, saying, "His love for nature was excessive, and his study from nature constant and unwearied." Edwin Landseer was an English painter and sculptor, best known for his animal paintings and sculptures, which include the bronze lion sculptures at the base of Nelson's Column in Trafalgar Square. He was the son of engraver John Landseer and showed artistic talent from a young age. When he was only 12, his work was exhibited at the Royal Academy. Landseer frequently visited Scotland for hunting trips, where he would also carry out sketches and studies for future works. One of his most well-known Scottish-themed paintings is Monarch of the Glen, 1851. He was very popular in late 19th century Britain and was Queen Victoria's favourite artist, commissioned by her to paint many royal family portraits, from pets to children. When Landseer died in 1873, large crowds gathered to watch the funeral procession through central London, and his Nelson's column-lined sculptures were hung with mourning wreaths. He was buried in St Paul's Cathedral in London. Matthew Smith was a Yorkshire-born artist who studied at the Slade School of Art and was briefly tutored in drawing and painting by Matisse in Paris. Smith was one of Jacob Epstein's best friends, and Epstein held a large collection of Smith's works, but had to sell most of his collection to pay a tax bill. Flowerpiece, from around 1952 to 53, is one of the surviving works in the collection. Smith often painted traditional artistic subjects, such as still lifes, landscapes and nudes, but in a colourful and spontaneous style, influenced by Fauvism. The Tate Gallery held a major Smith exhibition in 1953, and at this time he was regarded as one of the leading British painters of the 20th century. He was awarded a CBE in 1949 and knighted in 1954. Theodore Garman was the oldest child of Jacob Epstein and Kathleen Garman, born in 1924 when Epstein was still married to his first wife. Theo was a self-taught artist who often painted vibrant landscapes and portraits, as well as still lifes of flowers and religious statues. Window Picture in June 1951 portrays the view out of Garman's Chelsea Road home studio. Epstein was unable to acknowledge Garman as his son at his first public exhibition in 1950 at Redfern Gallery. In the catalogue for this exhibition, the artist and family friend Matthew Smith writes of Theo's works, "I can only say that I look at them with wonder, admiration and even astonishment." He was also described as an important newcomer by artist Wyndham Lewis. Sadly, Theo, who had suffered from mental health issues throughout his life, died at the age of 29, so was never able to fulfill his promising start as an artist. This vase dates from around 3500 to 3000 BC and is an example of Egyptian decorated ware pre-dynastic pottery, with painted decorations featuring a river scene with oared boats and leaf motifs. This type of pottery was made from marl clay and decorated with red ochre pigment. Decorated ware was often painted with designs ranging from depictions of animals and the Nile Valley landscape to abstract geometric patterns. Plants and vegetation are regularly featured, but it can be difficult to identify specific species because of the stylized form of the decoration. One side of this vase shows swirling patterns, which also regularly show up on pottery of this type and are thought to represent the water of the River Nile, or to imitate similar patterning used on pre-dynastic carved stone vessels.